Hey guys, wanted to get in and do a brewer review. So I actually have Matt at Rec Brewing, his Kilt kicker, and then I actually have a can of that of my own. So unfortunately mine isn't on tap anymore. Went to take a pour the other day and actually kicked it. So Matt and I did this back in October. So it's had quite a bit of age on it at this point. Just a quick little bit about it. Kilt Kicker is a Scottish ale or a wee heavy. This ended up being 9.2%, so it was a pretty big beer. We had an original gravity of 1081. I think Matt was within a point or two. We were pretty close on our gravities. I don't know what his FG finished out at, but mine was down at 1012. I used Mega Yeast OYL015, their Scottish ale. This was 15 pounds and 4 ounces of Marris Otter. That was the variable between the two of us. Matt used Great Western Pale and I used Marris Otter, so the two base grains were the only two differences. Other than that, it was identical straight on through. 1 pound golden Swaen Munich light, 10 ounces Crystal 60 L, 3 ounces Cara aroma, 1 ounce roasted barley, and then we used 1.5 ounce EKG at 60, and I had 0.8 ounces of EKG at 15, Whirlfloc and yeast nutrient. Again, we did this on, that's for a 5-gallon batch, maybe about a 5.5, I'm trying to remember. I know I was using a little bit different system at that point than I am now. I had a cooler. I was recirculating, very similar to maybe if you caught the video that I put out this weekend. Looking at going to the Brew Easy by Blickman. I was trying to create the same thing, I just didn't have an extra kettle to do it at that point. So it might have been a 5.5 gallon batch, so those numbers are there. If you're interested in the recipe, I'll try to remember to put it in the comments down below as I post this. I was very, very impressed with it. This is the second time I've done this, and Rochester, you're kind of known to do a Scottish ale. You kind of have to. This is one of the premier beers here in this area. So a little hiss on that. So we'll get a pour here. Got Brew Tuber's glass for Matt. I'm not sure in terms of dregs or anything like that. I will leave it off to the side. So real pretty. Got a little mahogany type of color to it. Still got good carbonation there. It's I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, popping up through. Not a lot of head. I know I had similar issue with mine. A lot of malts in there. I'm trying to think maybe a raisin, dark fruit, something like that out of that one. I'm not sure. So let's see how we end up with mine here. Now his did travel, obviously this one did not, so I'm not surprised if there's a clarity difference here between the two, but we'll see. Alright. So there's definitely a clarity difference here. You can see straight through to my face here on the other side. So get them side by side here in terms of colors. Other than the clarity, I'd say it's pretty stinking same. No real head on either one of them. Carbonations, as you're looking at them, pretty stinking close. Mine may have a touch more carbonation from bubbles coming up from the bottom. So I'm getting almost say maybe a cherry. Definitely some dark type of fruits here I'm getting. Raisin, maybe a currant. I may be searching here for it, but there's definitely a little bit of a different nose. This is reminds me more of going towards that like a whiskey or a bourbon or a light type of, that type of nose to it. It's not full on like it's been on oak or anything like that, or a whiskey barreled or barrel aged or anything like that, but it's heading in the direction of barrel aged. This one is mine. I feel like Matt's is going more towards that dark fruit. That's interesting because other than the base malt, really, and I don't know if Marris Otter and Great Western Pale should give you that type of thing. I would expect you to get that out of your dark roasted grains, those types of things. So I know we were all the same on that. So that's an interesting difference. So I don't know if I can maybe change them a little bit here and see. So again, not an awful lot of color difference there at all. I think there's a clarity difference, and that was about it. So, all right, let's launch it, guys. That same flavor carries through. I get that, maybe it's a plum. I'm having a hard time placing it, but yeah, it's like a dark fruit. That's really good, Matt. I like it a lot. Great on a cold day. I just been outside cleaning up the driveway, getting it ready. We're supposed to have 12 to 14 inches of snow tonight. Got a winter storm warning going into effect after dinner time tonight. But that's good beer. I like it a lot. All right. I'll test it next to this one. Cilantro. So this one, to me, gives me a little bit more roasty. I wouldn't go. We're not going towards stout roast, but there's a little bit more of that malt, caramel, maybe a biscuit, or yeah, it's like making caramel, and it goes a little bit too far, and you start to get a little bit of that roast in it. So it's got that sweetness. It's not cloyingly sweet, but it's got that roasted sweetness to the malt than this one. Man, I like them both. It's interesting the difference between the two, though. I'll be interested to see what you think, Matt, if you pick up on the same things. But that's really interesting. They're really close. I mean, I'm searching for stuff here, but there's just that difference in terms of mine seems to be going towards the malt, roasty, bourbon, that type of, like maybe even like a barrel aged. Did you get? And Matt is going more towards that black currant, maybe a cherry, plum, something like that. A little of the darker fruit type of flavor on it. Still that malt backbone there. No hops or anything like that. There's just a nice bitterness that goes through that just kind of backs it up, balances it off. So, excuse me, I like that a lot. That's a good beer. I will definitely brew this one again. This is a great winter warmer if you want. Again, it's 9.2%. So she's a one and done type of thing, or a Mike Dean sessionable if you want to call it that. But very happy. I had a blast brewing with you, Matt. Looking forward to it. We actually have another one coming up. We're going to do a kettle sour. So looking forward to that one coming up here soon. That's one of my favorites. I've done quite a few of those, and I think this is going to be Matt's first time doing a kettle sour. So I take him through the process that I use, and then he can probably show me a bunch of stuff that I can improve upon. So it'll be fun to learn from each other going through this again. So. All right, rambled on for 9 minutes, so probably a little bit too long for a brew review, but had a great time brewing with you, Matt. Great beer, nice job. Thanks for the package of beers. I'll be getting through and doing the reviews soon. So, all right, guys, hope everybody has a great one. Cilantro.